definitely been very dry in terms of gaming this year. It seems like every major anticipated game release is getting delayed, but one of my personal anticipated games coming out is Dying Light 2, a game that has been announced back in 2019 with a lengthy gameplay reveal, but we haven't heard much about it since then. But recently, they've announced a release date and shown new gameplay, and I hope this video helps inform you of what to expect out of this game, and just sort of be real and give more of a player's perspective on what the game can be. My main points of references comes from the first game, and I use this as they've said in their web series Dying to Know that the core mechanics of Dying Light are still there, but they've essentially built off of that, adding double the parkour moves of the previous game and over 3,000 parkour animations as well. Playing Dying Light 1, I can say the parkour was perfect for what the game was at the time. There was a lot of creative ways to use it. The game very much promoted the use of it, having whole sections and gameplay tools such as the grappling hook to promote that style of play. In the gameplay I've captured, you'll see how essential it is to your survival, and just some of the creative ways you can utilize it in the environment, especially in the combat department. Now, in terms of combat, Dying Light 2 seems to want to really expand on the ways you can handle combat encounters. In some of the gameplay shown, there seems to be a lot of tools to use and of course some variety of weapons to use, sort of catering to different styles of play. Dying Light has a simple combat system at its core. Press one button to dodge, another button to kick, another button to attack, of course. But once you got some different tools and weapons and also abilities, you can definitely find some new ways to approach fights. The combat is very crunchy and brutal, having slow motion whenever you decapitate a zombie's head, or have an x-ray whenever you break an enemy's skull, really selling the fact that you are doing damage to them. Based on what we've seen comparing the two games, they seem to have heavily taken a lot of what made the first game great and heavily added on to it in terms of gameplay in very meaningful ways, like with the new expansions of parkour and new tools for combat. I touched briefly on the parkour in the game, how great the system is, and to sort of work that into this game, you have to make the environment, to support that system and how expansive it is. That's where the open world comes in, and just looking at the sheer scope is just amazing. Just look at it, honestly. You can't tell me that doesn't look cool. And it has a multi-layer structure going for it, having more life on the roofs, having more parkour options, different variables at play. You can see just at the gameplay, there's like a lot going on there. Now on the ground itself, there's not much going on for it. Like it's mainly dead, and that's why there's a lot of stuff on the roofs, because the stuff on the light ground, like the base ground, is inhabitable. So now they have to work with the roofs, adding farms and essentially new structures of ways of it's such a cool gameplay element mixed in with story, which I actually appreciate it. It's such good environmental storytelling that I love about games, and this game seems to really try to define itself with its environmental storytelling. With that being said, the ground is now, like I said earlier, very much inhabitable for humans. Zombies take over that location. You are mainly going to be avoiding the ground at all costs. Now I said mainly because at night there is an opportunity for you to actually go into the zombie's lair. The zombie's lair you have to sneak through, ideally sneak through, I imagine. Sneak through and get loot, a special item of sorts. We do not know, it's not very clear, but you will get something of high value, which I think is really cool. High risk, high reward. Definitely something that I think the first Dying Light needed, and definitely is something they had, but this is such a huge expansion, just adding a more of an incentive to be going out at night. Because most of the time, I didn't really want to go outside. I didn't want to go outside at night. I personally just, it was not a fun experience. I mean, it was a fun experience running away from zombies, but this helps with adding on to the fun. And I'm pretty sure there's going to be multiple incentives to have you go outside at night, whether it be missions or other interesting items or other variables, I'm sure, that we do not know about yet. One of the many things the game seems to promote is how much your choices matter and can affect the world and narrative. There being multiple factions you can help and interact with, and depending on who you help changes the world's environment, giving you new areas to explore, new parkour opportunities within the overworld, like trampolines and so on. And the character you play as seems to be very deep and multi-layered with how they described it. The story seems to be more about self-discovery, trying to find a lost relative to help better understand himself and what it means to stay human. pun sort of attended, but I think that is one of the many reasons why the title is called Stay Human. And if I'm right about that, I'll flip out. The devs have promised very complex characters and interesting narratives in the game. I personally think Dying Light 1 had some interesting characters and ideas that, fully developed, could honestly surprise a lot more people. That being said, it seems that it's something they are working to improve on, and is what they're going to be improving on in Dying Light 2. Obviously, to avoid spoilers, they can't outright show us characters and who they are, so I'll have to take their word for it and wait to see what the game has in store. That being said, I'm confident in the dev team to deliver a great sequel to a great game. They've proven to surprise many people with Dying Light 1, and what we've seen with Dying Light 2 already surprises me, and I'm sure I'll be pleasantly surprised when I get my hands on the game on December 7th. With all that being said, I hope you got something out of this video, hopefully some information to get you hyped or interested in the game. If you have any questions, please ask them in the comments, as I love talking about this game, as this video already shows. And of course, as always, liking or showing any kind of interaction on the video helps, so please do so. I would like to sort of be involved in the community for these games, and I adore them very much. Thank you for watching towards the end. There'll be new gaming news coming, like Battlefield, E3, and so much more. I can't wait to delve deeper into, and I hope you stick with me on this journey through this exciting time to be a gamer. Thank you for watching, sticking with me, and have a good day.